Okay, so this is our first bothy experience. Well, we have been to a bothy before, but this is the first one where we're going to aim to stay over. And scenery's pretty good. Let me show you. So we're on the way to Aberystwyth. We're about 20 miles away from Aberystwyth in Wales, and we just parked. Arthur's pretty happy about the sheep dotted around. Parked the car, and this is the scene that we've got. Amazing, brilliant red rowan berries. So that's where we're parked, and then just where that sheep is walking over there, we've got to basically walk around, got to get across a stream or river or something, and then basically go. You can't quite see it, but just over the hill, go around the left-hand side of the reservoir. So here we go. We've just come down to the river next to the car park. What are your thoughts about our first bothy experience, Arthur?
Beach over there.
What about the bothy?
I'm really excited.
Excited.
I think we've got somebody watching.
Oh yeah, got some spectators.
There's a beach over there.
So that's it. We're going to get ready, but just came down to these amazing rocks on the river.
You look there. The rocks are like orange.
Yeah, maybe they've got some iron in them. So I'm looking back where we've just walked. Somewhere about there, the other side of the hill, is where we parked, and we've come across down this bit of gully sort of thing here over, and there's a few streams and brooks to cross. I'm just stopping for a rest because my pack, which I popped on the ground, is so heavy. So yeah, being bothy and hiking virgins, I think we need to work out what to do with that. But it has got the essentials, and I even took out the espresso maker. There's the rest of the crew walking along. I was going to stay here because I've got a good position to let them know how to get across this stream, which down here you can see the track going into it. So I've made it a little bit farther. There's the crew back there. Now I'm just getting on with it because I'm sort of going at a better pace because of that super heavy bag, so then I can have a rest. We've just last recorded, I think, probably somewhere over there, that hill over there. So we've done quite well. It's not actually too far to walk in distance, but it is a bit tricky because there's not actually a defined path at all. So you can see behind me the track just here. I'm proper sweaty, so yeah, I don't really know. I mean, my pack, I've got everything that I needed from the research. So I got the amazing and really stunningly beautiful Bothy Book of Scotland. I think it's called the Scottish Bothy Book, and we've got everything that was in the list plus some other bits and bobs that we thought were essentials. But in it says if you're bothying in winter, which we're not quite, but it says some people take 10 kilos of coal. Yeah, I don't know how they do that. I suppose I've got the tent just there in case that we need to sleep outside. That's 5 kilos. So I suppose if we got rid of the tent, yeah, so I suppose that is doable. But anyway, we're just going to have a little rest while I wait for this lot just coming up behind me. And then that is the view. We've got to just keep following this all the way around the edge of the hill, sort of parallel to the reservoir, which is very, very empty, which is quite amazing. Actually looks like somebody might have used a motorbike over there, which probably isn't allowed, but looks like it might be quite fun. So so there we go. Next stop. We've got some spectators down there, which is pretty cool. So just setting off again. Should have brought my selfie stick, which in a former life I would have thought was really stupid. I'm definitely not into taking selfies, but in this life, helping to inspire other people, growing, eating and living sustainably to help climate and give ourselves a better life, it's actually pretty handy for doing filming. So you can't quite see, but I'm bent right forward to try and balance the weight of my my rucksack back there. So we're just walking around this hill, and it's a straight, well, not straight, but you know, we keep following this path now, so the most difficult bit is over, and there should be a vision on the horizon, or at least tucked in the edge of the hill, which is the Bothy. Don't know if anybody's going to be there. Don't know if it'll be empty. Don't know entirely what to expect, but that's the beauty of this. We're aiming to get out into wild places that most people in the world wouldn't see. And there's some sacrifices for that, but it's all good. I'm looking forward to the experience. So I'm going to pop this down while I keep walking, see if I can avoid this sheep down here. So the path has turned into a fern-lined path, which is quite pretty, next to a very empty reservoir. Just stopping for breathing, I spotted right over there, middle of the hill, is the dam. And actually, if you can just see, poking above the ferns is the chimney stack. So this is the last bit of the path. What to expect, I don't know. There it is, like a vision. Nice bench outside. Let's see what we get to when we go down this gully. That will be our home for the night. Oh, this is steep with this heavy backpack. And not a bad view, even if part of it is man-made. So that's our view for the day and night. Pretty cool. When we got here, there was three guys here that live local, and they'd just come for the night. So we've been pretty lucky. It's nice to have met some other people actually, but pretty nice to have some space to actually sleep inside and not in a tent. So we've got this is the building basically. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So there's sleeping platforms over there. There's a table here which has actually got some bits and bobs in it that kind people have left as the wood burner. Now the guys that were here before brought all of this wood, plus they said they burnt loads more. I have no idea how they carried that. That would be super heavy and bulky. I've got kitchen set up over here. We're going to take a wander down to the reservoir in a minute and get some water. Then we're going to put a brew on and hung some of the food up just in case of any mice. I think it's pretty good to go. There's like a little rack up there which is pretty good for hanging food up as well and drying clothes. So yeah, we're pretty happy with our room for the night. So we're just shutting up for now, and this is our view walking around the side of the Bothy. Now this Bothy has all the mod cons because here is a toilet. Amazing. Now what we're going to do, no running water, no facilities, part of the beauty of it. We're going to walk down, get some water. I've got my water filter, my Lifesaver water filter. I'm going to grab some water out of the reservoir and we're going to come back up and put a brew on. So we've come down to the reservoir, and you don't imagine staying next to a reservoir if you're going to be short of water, but we are. We walk down on the stones, get to the mud, and it is super muddy. So luckily Emily's worn wellies, which is pretty good. But we've got enough water for the kettle, and yeah, part of this experience is to, I suppose, appreciate the value of what we've got at home. Is that we've had to wander all the way down here just to get a kettle full of water to have a coffee and a hot chocolate, whereas at home we just turn on a tap, but then we take that for granted. So it's quite fun to see we need to put some effort into having a cuppa. So I'm back up in the Bothy now. Just have a look, see if they're coming back or not. Next job is to put on the kettle. So Emily found this amazing bit of kit by Trangia, which is a fuel meth burner. So it's meant we've got sort of the cooking equipment so much smaller now. Everything packs down, and it ends up that big, that deep, and that round. It all goes. Everything else goes inside it. frying pan, 2 pans, the kettle. It all fits inside. The only extra thing we bring is that red safety bottle of meths. And then also that lid is a colander. And once you finish cooking, you can put it on top of the pans to keep food warm. And we're going to try and find a different fuel source than meths, because meths gives us some pretty bad greenhouse gases. Sure, it's on an absolutely minuscule scale, but we try and do everything we can. So yeah, cup of coffee and hot chocolate is next on the list. So we've been having a relax and a coffee, and I'm a bit of a coffee snob. We get freshly ground coffee from Pact, which is pretty cool. And I was going to try and bring the espresso maker, but I thought it was a bit elaborate. Plus, it doesn't actually fit on the stove. If it had, I'd have probably brought it. But we managed to find some instant organic and fair trade coffee, which is actually pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing on the list is a bit of lunch, and we're going to try this organic French country vegetable soup from Amy's. So I'm just popping it into the pan, and then the stove is warming up over here. Once it's warmed up, I'm going to take off this sort of baffle or whatever you call it. Now you have to be a bit quick with your hands, but I don't want it going really hot. All I want to do is warm it through. You have to wait for the burner to get nice and warm, and then you can put this on and it'll actually adjust the temperature. So I'm just going to check that doesn't go out. You've got to be careful with meths because the flame can be invisible. I'm going to just leave that on the heat then, and then everybody else has gone for a bit of an adventure, and have a nice hearty lunch. Right then, so I've got the soup in the pan, got this really nifty little handle. The burner looks to be going quite well. You can't really see it through the camera, but it is just going nicely. I'm going to rest that in there, and then use the frying pan to keep the heat in, and that will just eventually heat the soup through nicely. There we go. So that's the aftermath of lunch, and that is 3 people making the most of being in beautiful scenery. They're in bed. Jeez, that's unbelievable. We've washed up. The kettle's ready for later on. And I've got ginger wine. Homemade ginger wine is on the go. It's fairly potent stuff. I'm about to settle down and read a bit of my ebook on my phone. So it's the afternoon. We've had a very nice, relaxing day. We've got some neighbours, some guys that have come up from Cardiff to celebrate their 25th birthday, which is pretty cool. And it is absolutely stunning blue sky, gorgeous sunny day, and it's just been a very nice, relaxing day. We've discovered the water butt, which luckily, thanks to the lifesaver bottle that we've got, means we can actually grab some water there without having to go down to the reservoir. And what we've got on now on the stove is dinner. We've got pork chops and potatoes. That's actually looking pretty good. So dinner next. Okay, so this really is the part of the day that we've all been waiting for. Getting the stove on, and we've let Arthur loose with the lighter to get some candles going. So we've had a really super day, and we're just relaxing with the game, and we've got some rice pudding on the stove, and the wood burner is on, and we've got an amazing view as the sun goes down over the mountains, and we're really looking forward to seeing some proper stars with no light pollution, and it's really quite a privileged thing to be able to do. Come and stay in a beautiful building with loads of history, get a wood burner on, and have some really nice times together as a family. Okay, so it's morning time, and it's a bit windy. I'm just trying to I've got a few bags under my eyes, but I didn't sleep that well, but I feel all right, so that's all good. But it's really good. But what we've done is come down to the reservoir. Arthur's idea to do some breakfast, which is pretty cool, and it's just so nice to be here underneath the moon, watching the sunrise come up on the hills across the other side, and it's just proper silence. It's been a really nice experience. And look back up, there's our neighbours heading off today. Hope they had a good 25th birthday. And there's the Bothy up on the hill. So yeah, that's how we've been pretty lucky. Our first ever Bothy experience. Definitely looking forward to doing quite a few more. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of our, well, not the end of our Bothy experience, because we've still got to walk back to the car across the moors, which is about an hour. And then we're going to go for a drive around the reservoir, stop at the dam and get the stove out again and have some lunch. But this is it. Everything packed away into our bags, left the place nice and clean and tidy. And left some coal over there and some candles. And then the guys that were staying here, a group of guys from Cardiff, also left a few bits and bobs over there as well. But left it all nice, and yeah, still a lovely view to look out to, and really good first Bothy experience, which we'll be definitely doing a lot more of. Learned a few things about what we brought as well. Well worth investing in some clothes, which I thought I had good sports clothes, but it's still fairly damp this morning, even though we had the stove on last night. So well worth investing in at least one set of clothes that are going to dry super fast and help sort of wick sweat away and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, really good experience. And next stop will be the car, and then the dam for lunch. So we've stopped on the way back to the car, and we must have come a bit closer to this stream or brook. I'm not sure what becomes what, but there's amazing slate. You can see the sort of formations in the rock. That's at an angle. Obviously the land has collapsed at some point. Really pretty.
There's slate inside it.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, just stopping for a break. Pack's still fairly heavy, although it's lighter with a bit less food and no coal, which is pretty good. So, getting close to the car. Actually found a much better way to walk back. Once you've got a bit of perspective from the hills, you can see sort of markings on the ground. So you can see down there, Emily, Arthur and Laura just coming up a quad bike track. So yeah, we've just come through here and then along the edge, which is actually a lot better. There's amazing scenery, and then not too far to go now. I'm going to go along this fern track in front of me, and then cars just across the bridge. It's going to be sad to leave, but it's nice that it's a short getaway, and the plan is to do a lot more of this. Yes, we've got a drive here, but the plan is to do this to live a bit more sustainably, become more connected with the world around us, and appreciate the value of it.